Well, that was a nice hiatus.
Yeah, no predictions. But for this episode, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna do State of Wrestling Summer of 22 AV
What's AV stand for?
Yeah, what was this stuff for?
after Vince. Welcome to TFS Pod, otherwise known as the Few Show Podcast. It's 24/7 Lou, and that's
Rick Hard saying for a week, I was just being a fan enjoying wrestling.
and that's
The one-man band, and I'm actually excited for this era.
yeah. Welcome, folks, to TFS Pod, otherwise known as the Few Show Podcast. Let me tell you something. From the highest mountain. Whoa, that's not it. From the we're the beast of the east, the best in the west, and everywhere in between. I forgot the rest of the line. What's the rest of the line? See, that's what I've been off for.
Wow.
I need a card line.
It's called Rusty.
Rusty. Tell me about it. Wow, Luke.
We're the beast of the east, best in the west. Oh, wait a minute. From the highest mountain to the lowest valley, and everywhere in between, we are the beast of the east, best in the west. You are listening to TFS Pod, your girlfriend's favorite show. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And to our editor, we would like to just say, edit that up.
Edit that up, please. So, in this episode, we're talking about the state of wrestling. A lot of things have happened here in the summer of 22. We've had a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of changes. Even our championship is in a tie right now. So we have that going on. And
and unfortunately, we don't have any shows for the next couple of weeks, though. Me and Lou are just playing tug of war with the title.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
just
one
in
more
like a-
person. I'm waiting for one more
we're just-
person.
Yeah, I'm working on it, bro. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Come on, Lou. It's already hard dealing with joint custody of it right now. You're gonna add a third person in?
Well, it might be a
That's
fourth.
gonna
The
happen.
main
One of
event
us
only.
Yeah, that's true. One of us is gonna have to get it only Wednesdays and Thursdays.
So it's been a very exciting moment of wrestling as a fan, right? You guys can agree with that, right?
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
We have wrestling all over the place from all parts of the world. We can watch different superstars, and someone leaving and for some other reasons, and someone in charge now. So let's kick off this round table in the squared circle, the ring here. With what do you guys think about the state of wrestling at the moment?
Oh, couldn't be better right now.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm very curious as to how this is being played for the long game here, because it's good to pop a rating, and basically I'm talking about Triple H here. He's very good with the shows right now. Kevin Owens versus Drew McIntyre was great. AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of good stuff's happening. But I wonder if he's going to be as rigid about other stuff that Vince was. Like, Vince would sometimes have the main event for WrestleMania planned out a good 8 months, 6 months in advance, and it's like, yeah, this is the main event. Stays the way it is. Be very rigid about it and not shake about it. I dare remind everybody of Randy Orton versus Batista, WrestleMania 30.
Oh, yeah.
Reigns versus Lesnar, WrestleMania 31. Like, it's happening. That's it. No exceptions. So I wonder what's going to happen at next year's WrestleMania, as well as, whether or not right now we're just playing the waters to see what rivalries work. He's giving everybody a chance to show them what they've got so that he can start setting things in motion. But it's very interesting television.
Now, I got to be honest.
And the ratings reflect it.
I got to be honest. In the beginning, before, I don't know if I mentioned this. Oh, no, I mentioned the chat one time. Before Triple H ran NXT, I wasn't sure about him running anything or how he would be doing that. And when in his run at NXT, I enjoyed it. I did not like why he was removed out of there, but that's what happened. And I knew that coming into now as for the other shows, I expect big things like I saw on NXT. What do you guys think of that one man band?
Well, my thing we always talked about this. I mean, when he was running NXT, when it was the black and gold, I mean, it was a well-oiled machine. I mean, arguably NXT was probably better than most WWE shows that were going on at that time when he was running it.
Yep.
The pay-per-views were massive. You guys remember the pay-per-views were
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
massive.
there would be multiple times where they would be on the same weekend, and the takeover would be better than sometimes
Yeah.
the Big Four pay-per-view that it went up against.
No question.
And
Yeah, they were
I know
very
people
strong.
that would not watch NXT, even though that was going on, the takeovers were going on. They would not watch NXT. They'd watch the main shows, and then when we tell them, "Hey, check out the NXT the takeover," it's like, "Wow, what a good show!"
Yeah, what I like, what I'm so happy about with with Triple H in this case, I'm super happy at the fact that what a redemption arc, like what a redemption arc this guy is going through.
Oh my God! Yes.
I mean, this guy went from getting NXT taken away from him to being pretty much too close to being outcasted from WWE to the point where they were even talking about him showing up in AEW.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
damn near dying.
Yep.
His heart was working. I think at one point they said his heart was working at an 11% capacity.
Oof.
And he was on the verge of knocking on death's door. And this man kicked out at 2 3/4. And, he came back. Then all of a sudden these things with Vince started happening. That's a whole nother story. And all of a sudden now Triple H is all the way from out of the loop and is now basically head of creative, right?
Yeah.
Head of creative, and if I'm not mistaken, he's currently also head of talent relations. But I'm sure he's looking to try to separate the two roles.
Absolutely.
You don't want somebody looking over both of those. It gets very complicated.
And the way that exactly, it does. That makes a lot of sense. And the way that I've seen things just open up so much since then, you've got now Vince McMahon is no longer a part of WWE allegedly.
I want to clarify. He does have a majority of the shares still, but he has stepped down from his position as chairman of the board and CEO, and he's not directly managing the day-to-day operations. He can still, at any given point, vote himself to some degree back into it, but I'm sure the other members of the board, he'd have to pretty much outvote everyone else on the board.
Yeah, and that won't. And
it's possible, but it's not. I think retirement is the way to go at this point.
Yeah, it's too much heat going on with him. But then also, just look at the shows since he's been back, and notice me and Rick Hard talked about this.
Not just the shows. Look at the stock price.
Well, that helps, but just the product in general. Notice how free a lot of people feel since then. Like a lot of people, particularly, I think the person who's benefited the most from this, believe it or not, is Michael Cole. I think Michael Cole, ever since Vince McMahon has stepped down, I think Michael Cole now has been so free and so, open and able to say things and not have to worry about Vince screaming in his ear. It took a special person to handle that position because there's been a lot of announcers over the years, and a lot of them have not been able to handle it over some time. I mean, look at Mick Foley, for example. Mick Foley was a perfect example of somebody that was put in the announce table, and he did not last. He said, I couldn't handle Vince McMahon screaming in my ear. Couldn't handle it. So it took a special person to handle that, and now Michael Cole not having to hear.
I'm tempted to quote Michael Cole himself. I used to cover wars.
Yeah.
When he was a heel, but it's true. It's rooted in reality. That man has covered wars. He could take getting yelled at by an old guy for over 10 years.
Yeah, man, a long time, man. And Michael Cole has been with WWE since '97, man, as a backstage announcer.
I want to say, because as much as Lou doesn't like it, it's a callback to our early beginnings. Raw is the flagship show, and since I want to say 2008, Michael Cole has been the voice of basically Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
When he took over for JR.
Exactly. And so with that, not only with all that, but also what Triple H has been doing to basically undo the wrongs that Vince McMahon did, bringing back, bringing people back, that had potential, you know, like Dexter
Karrion Cross,
Loomis,
Dexter
Karrion
Loomis.
Oh
Cross.
yeah.
All these people are coming back now. The people that you felt like, oh man, they weren't given a fair chance, which leads me to believe that the whole real reason as to why Vince McMahon was cutting people was not because of record profits or whatever. That I think it's because he was probably doing some illegitimate things in the background. He was hiding it. I feel like there's more going on that's not being said. So he was hiding it by cutting all these people, and by cutting all these people, all of a sudden
Yeah, he
the
was freeing
product
up
got bad.
cash flows.
Yeah, and now look. But now, finally, it looks like things are heading back in the right direction.
Good.
WWE is actually watchable again. And the great thing about it is competition. Competition, competition creates great content. And so because of them elevating now, people like AEW have to elevate. Impact has to elevate. Even New Japan or these other companies around, like Triple Mania, like Triple A, like CMLL. These places they have to get better now.
Yeah, because they probably thought, oh, they're down, we can do something, but no.
Exactly. With WWE putting out like a mediocre product or lackluster, people were like, oh, well, they're throttling, so we don't have to try as hard. But now,
not only that. With WWE not releasing as many people as before, because
right?
Triple H is going to want to start looking at talent retention.
Of course.
With WWE not doing that, you've got to believe that they realize they can't just rest on, oh, we'll just sign up the next WWE releasee and that'll be our next big moment for television. Now you actually got to, all right, we got to start developing people properly. Instead of just hoping the new arrival comes to pop a rating again. Once WWE does another release batch.
Exactly. So I think it's great. I think it's great that this happened. It's not great, obviously, the what caused it, but I think in terms
the road to this point was brutal, especially for Triple H.
Brutal. Oh, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
He had to be at home watching basically his creation get first just dumped on with different colors of paint.
Oh yeah.
In terms of the logo. Then to watch the people he helped foster, like develop as talents. He had to watch William Regal say, well, see you.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Just slowly he's like all these great people leaving. And then his health deteriorated and then all this comeback. And who could have guessed? I have to say this. Who could have guessed that it would be the guy who 20 years ago was burying people left and right?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of him with that stuff.
Go figure.
The guy who in 2011 thought, hey, this CM Punk guy's riding pretty hot. Let me wrestle him in a match at a pay-per-view and win him clean.
Yeah.
The guy who, if you would have asked me 3 years ago, hey, what do you think will happen if Triple H becomes in charge of WWE? I would have said, yeah, I think the Hall of Fame induction lineup would look like Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, two-man power trip, and Stephanie McMahon as that's the lineup. And maybe you can throw in Terror Rising from WCW.
Terror Rising, yeah, nice. Nice callback.
Thank you.
So, so there we see what's going on with WWE. Now let's jump over to what's going on with AEW. What was it that we talked earlier before the show about they're having one of the matches for All In?
So, and I kind of want to make a prediction on this included, while we're talking about what's been announced. So for next week, now that CM Punk is back, the championship match for the AEW title between the interim champion and the former champion who had to vacate it temporarily or couldn't actively defend it. That's been moved from All Out, which is set to take place not this weekend but next weekend. It's been moved to Dynamite to be the regular TV, basically. Now, a lot of people are criticizing it, saying, "Oh, he's sacrificing All Out for the sake of boosting the weekly television rating." I think it's building up to something, and I'm thinking that someone's going to interfere in the match, and then the pay-per-view is going to be a triple threat. And the person who's going to interfere is MJF. Now, whether or not I'm right or not, time will tell, because I know a lot of people forgot where MJF is.
Now, no, what do you guys think about? I said I love it. I love this whole interim champion idea, because I know other companies don't do that. Only like MMA does this stuff, and we've heard criticism from other people out there in the industry who don't like this stuff. What do you guys think about this champ versus interim champ scenario?
I don't like the concept of an interim champ. However, I also don't like one-day title reigns caused by a sudden injury. Which is what would have happened if CM Punk did have to vacate the title. Maybe not to the exact one day, but it would have been close to a week.
Yeah, like remember in WWE we had that one with Finn Balor. What if
Finn Balor?
Then we have Daniel. What is it? Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan was with the Intercontinental title. He had that happen to him. The WWE title, he did defend in one match against Kane at I think it was Extreme Rules.
Did Edge go through this stuff too?
Edge didn't win the title at WrestleMania, but he did vacate it off an injury. It's rough vacating the championship off of an injury. Batista's first title reign ended in an injury, but he held it for 8 months. It's a weird way to go when it's
but if we had the interim thing, but if we did have the interim setup, it would have been pretty awesome to have that kind of built-in rivalry. That's what I'm saying. That I like it what AEW is doing with this.
I think the concept. Here's why I don't like the interim the interim championship concept. It essentially it feels like an addendum to him being champ. It's like you're champion, but you totally wouldn't be if this guy comes back. And if he comes back, you're totally going to lose.
Well, remember
that kind of stuff.
He didn't. It wasn't given to him. He had to win it.
He did have to win it.
Matches.
Yes.
I mean, matches wise.
And there have been multiple times where the championship's vacated and then it has to be won in a tournament. I mean, when CM Punk left WWE, they had to be So it's not to say that the concept isn't interesting. What I don't understand is why it's not just built in that your former champion, as soon as he comes back, gets a title shot. He's first in line for the title shot.
Right.
And then if you want it built in, you're not guaranteed the title match in the sense, because an interim championship does that. It's like, once the champion gets back, he has to have a match against the interim champ. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you don't force yourself to that booking, you can easily just have it be where, all right, now, this was an unexpected occurrence. It's a bit of a blow, but let's see who can jump up and really step up to the occasion. Obviously, someone needs to win the title. It doesn't need to be exactly who you want it to be, but it's your next best bet in case the champion the former champion can return. Mm-hmm. But who is they get called the champion, not the interim champion. Oh, it's not temporary. Interim feels like a very, very big asterisk. It's like, yeah, not really, but yeah, sure.
Yeah,
in my eyes, I don't like the concept of interim champion.
I tried it. Well, actually, I have to say, I did try it once. I did have an interim girlfriend.
I've never heard this story.
My girlfriend at the time my girlfriend at the time didn't like it, so there was no more interim girlfriend.
So your interim girlfriend became your permanent girlfriend.
No. The girlfriend came back and took the title back.
Fun.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I can see it in wrestling, but I can't see it in life.
Yeah, we'll just add that to the many columns of works in wrestling, not in real life.
There you go. Okay, so what do you guys think about the other stuff going on in AEW? Yeah, well, MJF, we don't have anything about him. What's going on with him? What else? What else do we have? We have the Cage and Jungle Boy story turning there. What other stories do we have there?
The Trios Championship match coming up. I hear it's going to be House of Black versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. That looks to be the match that they're setting up for.
Okay.
I'm pretty hyped about that. Jeff is too. He keeps mentioning it all the time, and I'm just like, I don't. I got mixed feelings. I got mixed feelings about Trios Championships. I feel like we're getting bloated with the championship picks.
You know who I feel like the interject real quick. I feel like the only company that has really done well with the Trios Championship or like that has been New Japan, because New Japan has the never open weight like 3-man title, and they seem to do very well with that. Like they seem like to be the only ones that have really got that concept right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, they're trying it out here on AEW, so. Let's see how that goes. Also, too,
you know what I think they should do. This is a championship format that I'm really surprised they haven't done with, because we've got intergender championships on the other brand we're going to talk about later on with Impact, because they have the social media title, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
I've always wondered why they don't do a tag title, but. It's not limited to it has to be just men's. It's not limited to it has to be women's. It's just any two people, or you could even just be one person challenging for both.
Oh.
like you could have one guy just like, I'm gonna wrestle for the duels championship, and it's just themselves, and they hold both titles, and it's like there's no rule against it. Sure,
there's
the Freebird rule where you can have 5 people holding the title. Why can't you do I don't know, the Braun Strowman rule? Why not?
Well, you know what? That might work to help build up a character that they have running through something. But I don't know if I don't know. That's a tough one to have stick all the time. Or it's a good every 5 years. Let me see that happen. How about that?
I think if you think about how interesting that would be for
no, it would.
Because think about it, you could just have it where it's like, yeah, we don't have any creative plans for you. It's like find somebody you want to work with. Try working by yourself against 2 other people. See how that works.
Bring a little kid in.
Stuff. All right, maybe not bring a little kid in, but that is what Braun Strowman did. So I guess sure.
Nicholas,
the youngest champion in WWE history.
No, like I said, I like it, but it has to be a story where they're building up some character that is unstoppable.
You can even do. It doesn't have to be that way. Think about it this way: the singles championship, the duels champion, could even be where you could be like, yeah, I'm going to implement. You could just have the one guy. We're totally going off script here, but I've always had this in my mind. I'm like, why don't you do a duels title? You don't call it tag, even though tagging is evolved, because all it involves is just you could be 2 people, one person acting as a team. You can even have it be one person who constantly tag teams with someone else every week. He's like, I need a partner, and then like you do sketches. You do sketches where he's just like, yeah, I won these by myself, but I actually would like to have a partner in this match. And he's just like, hey, you, and then you just have some indie wrestler pretend to be a hobo. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, would you be my tag partner?
A security guard.
You've got a $5 bill.
A security guard, cameraman. Hey, here, put the camera down. Here, come in the ring.
Put the camera. I need you in the ring.
That would be so good.
We're not even. Come on, that. Tell me that wouldn't make you watch.
Yeah, that would. I like that.
It's like, hey, he's talking to one of the female wrestlers. She's like, I don't want to go out with you. How many times? No. I just need a tag partner for tonight. Oh. Okay.
All right, well, hold on. Let's get back to AEW. What do you think about the women's division? Thunder Rosa champion.
All right, Lou. I know you've been trying to press it, so I'll say what I said before the mic turns on. AEW, to their credit, I feel has the best men's division currently, as the lay of the land stands. If we're talking about the state of wrestling, I feel AEW has in terms of diversity. You got your high flyers. You got your spot fest guys. Your technicians. I feel like AEW has the best diversity in terms of men's roster. I feel like Impact has the best women's division out of the big three in America. And I think WWE is in between on both of them. I mean, sometimes they shake it up enough, but they're very good at building individual stars.
Yeah.
I said that before the mic was on. I'll say that now. As it stands, that's if WWE wants to work on it, they need to focus on. First off, their women's division needs some help.
Yes.
It's not to say they don't have good stars, but your women's division is built off of just a handful of people carrying the whole division, and you need to start spreading that out amongst other people. And their men's division, same deal. But I can already see Triple H realizing the men's division needs something, and I said this before. He's taking lessons from the Attitude Era. He realizes that I think we're moving away from the concept of WWE needs a guy. They don't need the guy. When Triple H was quote unquote the guy in the late '90s, early 2000s, he had people constantly competing in his spot. Kurt Angle, Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, even at some points, The Undertaker. Like there were different people that at any given point you could give the championship to, even though you only had the title for 2 months, and it would have been like, yeah, makes sense, roll with it.
I agree.
And I remember episodes of Raw where the number one contender, the World Heavyweight title, changed like 3 times on the same night.
And what about you, woman, man? How do you see the state of wrestling in that breakdown that we heard there from Ricard?
Well, it's like I said earlier, like what I alluded to earlier, like the whole concept of WWE. WWE is always regarded as the echelon of the whole wrestling world. Yes, I know they're sports entertainment, but they might, who knows, they might get away from that a little bit. We'll see. But like I said, with them having a new era, I feel like that forces everybody else to have to elevate. We've already seen AEW respond to a few things that they've done. I mean, like we talked about earlier, interim championship, not a huge fan of that either. It kind of undermines the person who actually has the title. And it just so happens that, oddly enough, CM Punk has been a part of both of those, as of late, with Money in the Bank in 2011 and now this. It's like, come on, man. It just goes to show, like, maybe CM Punk is best in interim type situations, even though I know he's not the interim for this one. But, we'll see how that goes. But I see the future very bright. I think it's very, very bright.
We had Forbidden Door, which I don't know if it really was a Forbidden Door, but through
right.
AEW.
Well, I think that in turn is like I said, I think who probably stands to gain the most, or at least has the most to prove in this situation, is AEW, because AEW obviously being the new kid on the block. They no longer have one of their EVPs who is now in WWE, and this can kind of be like, okay, so let's see what you got. You've been around the block now, maybe AEW's been around close to 3 years now. October will be 3 years, but they've been an entity now for a little over 3. Usually around this time is where you start seeing, hey, can you survive or not? Because if you remember WCW,
I've heard
Top of the
next year contracts are coming up.
Top of the ratings until 1996.
I think it's the next year. Is the contracts are coming up for them?
What?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean the contracts for next year. Yeah, but no. They extended. They extended 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think they extended 3 years.
Are you talking about the TV deals or the contracts with wrestlers?
The TV deals.
Oh, no,
now, as far as
I'm talking about
TV
the
deals
wrestlers.
extended.
Okay, now here's the caveat with that one. I feel like the next year to two is going to be very pivotal for them because we've already seen that they've had a few people left a couple months ago. Their contracts expired. They seem to have never spoken to them, and they never re-upped. You know, a la Joey Janela, Marco Stunt, Angelico, I believe, was one. Couple people that have kind of been lost in the shuffle. And I think the big one in the next year and some change, maybe too, is going to be MJF.
Yeah.
MJF is going to be a big situation where, like, I feel like if they lose him, that's a big problem because that's one of their main heels, that they homegrown heel. So they really need to do something. They need to try to do something to keep him because if I'm pretty sure that Cody and him are friends, and Cody might be telling him, "Hey, be good to, maybe it's good to jump over here."
Wouldn't you want to have a stadium full of people cheering for your return?
Yeah, exactly.
Fine. I'm waiting for MJF versus The Miz, SummerSlam 2025 or 26.
Get out of here! Its contract expires in 2024, and you know.
So it's 2025 then. Happy.
Oh.
MJF versus The Miz.
This guy.
What?
You think MJF's the only one? I'm looking at so many people right now. I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Danhausen.
Danhausen. Yeah.
Let me just say it right now, guys. Let me name names here. You know, AEW, that's a great stepping stone for Danhausen, but he could go bigger.
Yeah.
You know, Impact, that's a great stepping stone for Heath Slater, but he can go bigger.
Oh my God. This guy with Heath.
Heath? He's got kids, and I hear WWE's going to pay well.
Hold on, I got a phone call. Hold on, I got to take this phone call. Yeah, hello, okay. Heath. Oh, yeah, no, don't send me the check. Send the check to Rick Hard. Okay, all right, bye. We'll talk later. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry.
No, Lou, you got it wrong. I only get the check. I only going to check when I do a Slater pack.
You do what?
1,001 Slater packs.
Oh no!
I won't do one. I won't do one now. I don't want to do it now. But we're at about 20.
All right. So let's move on to the next company we have here, Impact, that we follow. What do you guys think about Impact? Oh wait, I have a question for Impact. Here we go. Can Impact fill an arena? Where can Impact fill up an arena? Indoor arena, not a football stadium. I'm saying an indoor arena, maybe 12,000 seat arena. Where can Impact do that? Because
I alluded to it. You originally asked the general question: do you think that if Impact was able to book an arena, they would be able to fill it? And my response was, it depends on the city. And I think that Impact, its closest. If we're gonna go with the fact that the Wrestling Wars, I called it WW1 and WW2. I'm not talking about World War I and World War II. I'm talking about Wrestling Wars 1, Wrestling Wars 2. Wrestling Wars 1 was WCW versus WWF, with ECW involved also. And Wrestling Wars 2 is AEW versus WWE, with Impact in the background. It's very hard not to call them TNA, but Impact. And if we looked at who's playing what role, WWE is clearly WWF from back in the day. AEW is clearly WCW 2.0. And I think Impact, the closest it gets to out of the three from before is ECW. So if Impact wanted to fill an arena, do it in Philly. Heck, do it in the Hammerstein Ballroom. I'm sure you'll get a lot of people.
All right.
Because look at the matches Sami Callihan has had. I mean, somebody took a staple gun. Someone took a staple gun to the nuts in that match. That just screams ECW.
So,
oh my God!
Because I watch Impact, the weekly shows, and they have the talent on there, but what they have around is like, I don't know, maybe 200 people, 300 people in there, and it's and the sad part is that whenever they travel, I see them they go to Vegas or they go to different cities, it still looks the same. It still looks the same, of a very little crowd in a ballroom. and the ring in there. I get going for the look, but fill up a place for crying out loud. And they have the talent. They probably have to.
They have the announce team. Josh Matthews is the announcing. Is doing the announce. Well, he was doing. The
he was no.
It's D'Lo Brown. It's D'Lo Brown and.
No, it's not D'Lo Brown. It's I forgot their names. It's the guy that used to be in NXT. It's one of the guys that was in NXT. And
no way, it's Mauro Ranallo?
No.
I believe. Oh wait,
no, it's the other guy.
Tom Phillips.
Yeah, Tom Phillips.
Ah, Tom Phillips.
He's on there, and what was the guy that used to be with Rusev?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Aiden English.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and they're really good. I do enjoy when they're on there. So yeah, but again,
yeah, Aiden English was a good talker. I agree.
Yeah, he was.
But
I give him that.
Can they fill up an arena? Can they do? Because again, I've been watching this stuff for a few years now with Impact, how they're doing this stuff, and I get coming out of the pandemic and everything, but it looks like a high school gym, but or something where the second level hasn't been filled up yet. They haven't arrived yet, or something. I just want to see a full arena, like arena, like how AEW at least does it. At least. So that's my thing with Impact. That's my only thing with Impact. I do enjoy what they have there. X Division. They've had Top of the Queen match, was it?
Queen of the Mountain.
Queen of the Mountain. Yeah,
they've got
very vulgar.
Come on, Lou. You watch it. Top of the Queen.
It's very vulgar. Sorry about that.
Lou, you watch it weekly and you don't even remember the match types.
Because I'm recording. I'm recording my favorite show and I have no sound. I'm recording my favorite show and I have no sound. I just see that I'm watching on the action.
Either way, yes. I do worry about Impact's potential future at times when I look at those crowd ratings. I mean, the crowd that they draw, all that stuff. I'm like,
on Access TV,
this is good. You watch it. I watch it, and I'm like, man, this is actually good. Like the Honor No More story, interesting.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
The intergender thing with the social media championship.
Yeah, that too. I want to say they need to have the ability. They need to have exclusive contracts. We need to go back to exclusive contracts because exclusivity means a lot. And I think the problem is you can see a lot of people who are on Impact on other small indie promotions too.
Bullet Club is there clearly as Bullet Club.
But
it was
Bullet Club
because he was stuck over here. Jay White.
Bullet Club is not nearly the. I mean, I don't want to say that they're they're an afterthought, but they're clearly not.
It's the watered down version at this point.
Yeah, they're clearly not what they were back in 2015, 16, 17, around there. That was a very golden era of them being the Bullet Club. When you had. You have Finn Balor, and then you had AJ Styles. That Kenny Omega took it over, but you had that core group of, you had Gallows and Anderson, then you had the Young Bucks. I think the only remaining original member from that era is Bad Luck Fale or Tama Tonga. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. But it's really sad to see because they're not what they once were.
Yeah, but what I mean is I've seen them there. I've seen them on of course New Japan. They've Jay White showing up on AEW. So it was an interesting summer of things where they were around. But yeah, you're right. It's not the same thing as the Bullet Club.
Yeah. They were pushing massive merchandise a few years back, and now they're just kind of an afterthought at this point.
Wait a minute! I just saw somebody in the background look just like a one-man band. Are you at home recording this, or are you somewhere out watching wrestling?
I'm at home.
I just saw someone in the background.
This is crazy. You know what's funny that I know we're gonna go off topic here a bit, but this is that's the second time this week that's happened. One of my friends wrote me at 6:30 in the afternoon when I was leaving work, and they told me, "Hey, are you at the Target in Miami Lakes?" And I'm like, "No, I'm home. I literally
man,
just passed by it.
You got a doppelganger out there. You got multiple doppelgangers.
Apparently I have two doppelgangers because in March of this year, my cousin, she wrote me at 1 a.m. and she said, "Hey, cuz, are you at Blue Martini?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." She goes,
I'm at
and
home.
I told,
Asleep.
I'm like, "I'm here hanging out at home." Why? She sends me a picture of the guy sitting in the distance. I'm not gonna lie, that guy did look like me. It was scary. Like
Yeah,
she goes,
I've seen that before.
"It's scary, man." Couldn't believe that.
I've gotten videos from people that are like, dude, I didn't know you went to the library. And I'm just like, I haven't been to a library in years. What are you talking about? They're like, the guy at the desk in the library looks just like you.
Oh, wow.
That's
Like,
crazy.
what? Okay.
Worse, I had one where someone sounded just like me.
Ooh.
At work, they had this one guy talking. He sounds like 24/7 Lou. They didn't call me that, but hey, it sounds 24/7 Lou. I'm like, what? And then I heard the guy talk. I'm like, oh crap! I wonder what I could use this guy for. I wonder if I could hire him for stuff.
All right. We're getting off topic. Let's stop talking about Elias. Let's stop talking about Elias and Ezekiel. Okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
So that's Impact. And what about? Well, again, I don't know much about AAA or New Japan Pro Wrestling, but
No. I'm going to say this right now. Having seen Triple Mania Night 2 for the 5th time.
For the 5th? What, this month?
Right.
This week?
Maybe just the pre-show match. I can easily say Triple Mania, more of that. Triple A, more of that, please.
The women's
more of that. What your camera people, like WWE needs to hire those camera people. I don't.
Well, like
those unnecessary zoom-ins, the unnecessary zoom-ins, the people who do the outfits. 2 thumbs up for me.
So yeah, well, at least this year we're following that stuff. So that's interesting to catch up with that stuff.
New Japan. My advice is simple: do some more America shows.
Yes,
because it's pretty obvious there's an appetite for it. My only gripe is if you're gonna do a co-show with someone else with an American promotion, maybe try to have it that your homegrown talent wins more matches than just like 2 or 3. You know.
Yeah, and important matches too.
Right? Oh gosh.
So yeah, well, again, that has brought us to see Will Ospreay, which we would never have seen, thanks to like now New Japan having to deal with AEW.
Oh, thank you for bringing this up because Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy made me realize Orange Cassidy is severely underrated in AEW. He needs way more wins and just to be treated credibly, I want to say, because sometimes I watch how he's booked and I'm just like, why are you guys doing this to the man? This guy's clearly entertaining.
True. So yeah, that's how we see. What was that? What was that?
No.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought I heard something. Okay,
I think that was an echo.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's probably a train that passed by here.
There you go.
So yeah, that's our TFS pod. State of the Union, Summer 22.
State of Wrestling.
State of Wrestling.
A.V.
Oh yeah, State of
Wrestling State.
State of the Union for wrestling, maybe. I don't know.
State of Wrestling. Summer 22.
I don't know what you're talking about, Lou. The NWO has been broken for a while now. You know what? We didn't mention them. All right. Let's do a shout out to NWA Power, which definitely tries hard.
They do.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sorry I don't mention them as one of the top 3, but we haven't covered an NWA Power pay-per-view at all in the promotions or the picks. and there's some interesting stuff that happens in NWA that I feel deserves credit. Um, I know Trevor Murdoch is actually doing some pretty cool stuff there. He's by a different name now, I think. But yeah, just get more exposure. I want to say, as in terms of advice, maybe try to get a partnership with Impact. Like I feel like the little guys need to really start looking at, hey, let's work together here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need to.
Yeah.
Survive, because this whole sticking it on your own type of thing, it's not going to pay off for a lot of them. And you don't want to go the way of Lucha Underground or X Wrestling. So if we're going to go with the local ones, but yeah, that's the state of wrestling, as Lou was saying.
There you go. And
what is it, Lou?
Let's see what the next few months brings along to wrap up the year, where we'll do our predictions wrap up, which that'll be fun.
Yeah, no, I still can't wait to see Terra Rising get inducted into the Hall of Fame.